Good morning. Brian Baker here, VP of Railcar Services at PFL, bringing you this week's North American rail, energy, and macro update. Starting with the markets, stocks closed higher on Friday of last week and posted strong gains week over week. The Dow surged 472 points Friday, closing at 47,207, up 1,016 points for the week. In overnight trading, Dow futures are trading higher. In the energy space, WTI closed at $61.50, down 29 cents on Friday of last week, but up $3.96 week over week. WTI futures are poised to open lower. For rail traffic, total U.S. rail traffic for the week ending October 18th was down 2.6% compared with last year at 497,854 carloads in intermodal units. Year to date through week 42, U.S. Railroad reported combined traffic up to 2.7% versus 2024. The big story this week is the Strategic Petroleum Reserve refill announcement. The U.S. Department of Energy announced a new solicitation to purchase 1 million barrels of crude oil for delivery to the SPR at the Byron Mountain site. Secretary Wright stated this delivers to President Trump's promise to rebuild America's strategic strength after the previous administration's reckless 180 million barrel drawdown in 2022. Canadian crude by rail exports increased to 87,141 barrels per day during August, up from 74,031 barrels in July, an increase of 13,110 barrels per day, and the largest volume exported since November of 2024. We attended last week's Sears Fall meeting in Buckhead, Georgia, with upwards of 400 attendees. The two-day event featured valuable networking and sessions covering shipper visibility, railcar leasing, government relations, and market outlooks. In a strategic move, Cathcart Rail is rebranding to Guardian Rail. The new name reflects a shift in philosophy and renewed commitment to core values. We had the pleasure of speaking with new leader Scott Driggers on Thursday of last week about the positive change he's making to the company. Check out this week's report for more details. The 4-week rolling average of petroleum carloads rose to 28,669, up 153 cars week over week. Canadian volumes were lower, with CPKC down 3% and CN down 5%. The MEG Energy shareholder meeting to vote on Cenovus acquisition was postponed from October 21st to October 30th. At the time of postponement, approximately 63% of MEG shares were for approval, or over 75% excluding Strathcona Resources. Opposition to the UPS-NS merger is growing. The American Chemistry Council sent a letter to President Trump and federal regulators last week, with 40 CEOs warning that merging two of the nation's largest railroads would harm competition. They called on the STB to reject any deal that fails to substantially enhance rail-to-rail competition. U.S. consumer prices rose less than expected in September, with CPI of 0.3% for the month and 3% year over year. Core CPI rose 0.2% monthly, keeping the door open for another Federal Reserve rate cut. North American rig count was up 3 rigs week over week, and the U.S. at 550 active rigs and Canada at 199 rigs. Overall, we're down 52 rigs year over year. The key takeaway this week is that energy markets are stabilizing, with WTI recovering over $4 while the government begins refilling strategic reserves. Rail traffic remains strong year to date, and merger battles continue reshaping the industry landscape. For the latest updates on equipment for sale or lease or customized rail solutions, contact us here at PFL. Remember, we clean, flare, service, and store rail cars across North America. Please read this week's rail report. A lot of good stuff in there. This week, pass on to friends and colleagues. We do it all for you folks, and it's free. Remember, we clean, flare, store, and repair rail cars across North America. We are return on lease experts, handling all logistics, and are a shipper on every Class 1. We offer transloading services as needed. Whether it's 1 car or 1,000 cars, PFL is your one-stop shop for all your rail car needs. Call PFL today. Thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week with another update on what's moving the North American rail and energy markets.